Badminton brothers Stuart and Ashley Brehaut enjoying the luxury ride to Town Hall. The younger sibling supporting a stress fracture to the ankle as his Olympic souvenir. Swimmer Shane Reese was there, as was former Ballarat grammar student Katie Folks, the cocks of the now infamous women's 8 rowing crew. Marathon runner Lee Troop lived in Ballarat for 6 years and returns every week to train with his coach and mentor Steve Monaghetti.
It's just great to have lived here for so long and then to be able to keep coming back as much as I do and still get counted as a regular. So I'm very, very fortunate, and again, I can't give praise and thanks to the Ballarat.
Tomorrow, 3 players from Ballarat are in the 8-member squad. It's one of the biggest events on the international badminton calendar and an important step towards the 2006 Commonwealth Games. The World Team Championships will give our top players a clear indication as to where they're at in terms of preparation for Melbourne.
It was a big jump from Athens to the Commonwealth Games, so having something like this in the middle really breaks it up. You sort of start to get excited again, and then once we finish this one, then it'll be Commonwealth Games isn't far away.
With the Commonwealth Games, possibly the international swan song for at least a couple of Ballarat players on the team, the importance of this Beijing tournament rises significantly. The team leaves tomorrow for an intensive training camp in China before the competition commences. Stuart Brehaut will captain the team and play the men's singles. Kelly Lucas is in the ladies' singles, while Ashley Brehaut has made a strong recovery from a stress fracture of his ankle to play in the double.
Form was a little bit shaky a couple of weeks ago. It's certainly coming a lot better now. Stu's playing.
And an athlete preparing for the race of his life. 4 Ballarat athletes have been named as part of Australia's 10-member badminton team for the Commonwealth Games. Stuart Brehaut and Kelly Lucas will be playing at their 3rd games, Ashley Brehaut his 2nd, and 19-year-old Erin Carroll will make her debut.
27-year-old Stuart Brehaut was undefeated in the team's event at the Manchester Games 4 years ago. Now he'll represent his country again.
Yeah, excellent. This will be my 3rd Commonwealth Games, so I'm really looking forward to it, and it's a little bit more special because it's my home of Melbourne.
Ashley Brehaut will play doubles, reuniting with his Olympic partner Travis Denny. Kelly Lucas is set to be the senior member of the women's team at the age of 27. And Erin Carroll is going to her 1st games as a singles specialist. Rhonda Cater will be assistant to coach Klaus Poulsen.
Well, I guess my role will be going and scouting the other teams and helping him as much as possible, so it'd be great to get to another Commonwealth Games.
The preparations intensify Monday.
Yeah, we'll head off to New Zealand for the Oceania Championships and also the Thomas Cup, which is the equivalent to Davis Cup in tennis. So we've got a week and a half over there. We come back for a couple of weeks preparation. I think we're actually training against either some Chinese or Danish, and then we'll head off to the Commonwealth Games village. So it's all getting exciting.
At the 2002 Games, 6 members of the badminton team could lay claim to a connection with Ballarat. This time in Melbourne, that connection will be as strong as ever.
Oh, it's a fantastic achievement to have 4 of the 10 actually selected in the team, and it's going to be good for our juniors to actually see that our senior players are getting selected for Australia.
Jeff Sly, Win News.
And with just 1 spot left in the Games 1500 metres.
Still to come on Stay Focused. Just 18 days to the Melbourne 2006 Commonwealth Games, when 12 individual and 4 team sports in a total of 24 disciplines will be contested in 19 venues across the state of Victoria. One of the city venues, the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, will be centre stage for one of the most important events on the international badminton sporting calendar. 4 of the 10-strong team representing Australia come from Ballarat, including Australia's #1, Stuart Brehaut. He joins us now in Melbourne. Hello, Stuart.
Hi, Judy.
Now, travel to Malaysia, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Switzerland, Britain, Germany, all in the last 12 months. What were some of the highlights there?
Well, yeah, as you said, it's a hectic schedule. I think Britain, Switzerland, Sweden, England, all those countries we travelled to in the middle of winter, so it was actually quite cold. And then we came back through Asia, which was quite warm, so it made it a bit tough to pack. But all the trips were vital in preparation for Commonwealth Games and getting ranking points up to to get seeds for Commonwealth Games, which is important to stay away from the good players early on.
Okay, now you're just back from Thomas Cup in New Zealand. How did that go for you?
We were runner-up, which was a little disappointing. We needed to win. If we had won that, we would have gone on to the finals in Japan later on in the year. So we lost to New Zealand. We lost 4-1 and the girls lost 3-2. So both were pretty tight results, but unfortunately we got done by New Zealand again. They're all full-time professional players now, so they've got a really good badminton program up and running, whereas we're probably a little bit behind. So it was disappointing to lose to those guys, and then we actually went on to the Oceania Championships, which again were in New Zealand, and I made the semi-finals, the men's singles, lost to number 1 New Zealand guy who actually won it. So I've lost to the winner again, but unfortunately, but it was a good tournament, and again, good ranking points for Commonwealth Games. And
all good preparation. Now, there was some success for the mixed doubles with Travis and Kate Wilson-Smith, is that right?
Yeah, Travis and Kate played really well in the Oceania Championships team final. They actually beat the top New Zealand pair, who are ranked top 10 in the world at the moment and second seeds for this coming Commonwealth Games. So that was a really good result, and it gives them some inspiration and something to work towards in Melbourne 2006. Just being able to compete with those top players, it gives them a good medal chance. Okay, now speaking of your team, you're captain of the team of 10 and there's 8 Victorians in it, along with Travis and Kate. Who else is in the team? Tell us a little bit about them. We've actually got a good mix of young and old players. From mostly Victoria, but also, as you said, Travis is Western Australia and Kate's from South Australia. We've got my brother Ashley, who made the team, so he's from Ballarat. We've got Erin Carroll from Ballarat and Kelly Lucas, who's also from Ballarat. And then we've got a couple of younger girls also, Fung Ming Chi, who's from Melbourne here. So some parts of the team are experienced, and we've also got 2 other guys, one from Bendigo and one from Swan Hill. So it's a regional Australian team or regional Victorian team with a couple of other players added in, but a good mix of young and old players. So I think 5 of us have been to the Olympics before, and 5 this is their first Commonwealth Games. So it's a good mix. Why do you think it's such a strong following from Ballarat? Ballarat's badminton's quite popular actually, so probably the most popular, one of the most popular sports in Ballarat, and also obviously a centre for good coaching and good development in Ballarat as well. It helps the younger players in Ballarat come through the ranks, and I guess also having 3 or 4 players from Ballarat represent Australia most of the time, it also gives them something to look forward to. So it's a really good centre down in Ballarat, and we've got some good coaches, so it's a good breeding ground. Okay, now at this stage only 2 medals claimed for Badminton Australia in the Commonwealth Games history. What will it take to bring home gold? It'll take a massive performance really. We've got Malaysia and Singapore are the 2 top teams, and they're also exceptionally good teams on the world circuit as well. Then we've got England and New Zealand, and probably the next teams below them, and then Australia comes in maybe 4th or 5th. So while it's not beyond a possibility to get a medal or a gold, it's certainly a pretty tough ask, especially with those full-time professional countries that we're up against. Okay, now also weather plays a part in how the outcome goes with the match, with humidity. Tell us a little bit about the shuttle and what sort of speeds will we see in these games? Well, the latest smash just recorded for the world record is 330 kilometres an hour, so it's the quickest racket sport in the world. And the humidity does play a little part in it, and also the air conditioning of the stadium, all that kind of thing makes the shuttles either go faster or slower. So there's actually 5 or 6 different speeds of shuttles we actually get to choose from at the start of the day, and depending on what conditions are in the stadium, how many people, etc., etc., it changes the actual speed of the shuttle. So we have to be careful to pick the right one. If it's too fast, then we hit everything out. If it's too slow, then our shoulders almost get ripped off. So it's quite tough to pick the right speed, but everyone has to agree, and then we play from there. Okay, now Stuart, you're number 1 in Australia. You've played in 2 previous Commonwealth Games. What's it going to be like to play in front of a home crowd? Oh, I think it'll be the pinnacle of all my achievements to be able to walk out in front of a home crowd in the opening ceremony, and then again when we actually play in the Melbourne Exhibition Centre. I think it's going to be great. Hopefully the stadium's jam-packed. I think the badminton stadium houses about 4,000 or 5,000, so we're hopeful that's full for every one of our matches, and I think it'll be a great experience to walk out in front of a home crowd. We're used to playing in front of crowds of 20 or 30,000 overseas, but in Australia we play in front of crowds of 20 or 30, so it should be a nice change to have a really good hometown support. All the best with the games. Thank you for your time today, Stuart. Thank you. Thank you. And still to come on State Focus.
when it takes on New Zealand in the third test of the White Trophy series in Ballarat. The Kiwis won the second test last night in Melbourne to claim the trophy for the 11th year in a row.
The Kiwis arrived at the Ken K Badminton Stadium this afternoon. To say they're relaxed is an understatement.
Obviously we're really happy to come into the third test with a little bit of the pressure off, but still really hoping to get the clean sweep and really take it to the Aussies.
New Zealand wrapped up the three-test series last night in Melbourne in a thriller.
Very close, could have gone either way, but let's hoping tonight that we can get a win.
The history of the White Trophy series is important to the players. For the past 11 years, the Kiwis have dominated. That's a sore point for many of the Australians, and they won't be helped by an injury to Tanya Louise.
We'd like to make up for last night and also the first test and really try to do well and at least take away a win.
For both teams, tonight is important as a warm-up for this weekend's Ballarat Badminton International. It starts Friday with players from all over the world. Craig Cooper is a veteran of these competitions at 26. He recognises the value of getting top-class competition relatively close to home.
If its players are going to have an impact at the Ballarat International, which starts tomorrow. The team arrives in Melbourne at midnight tonight, and its first matches are at 10 tomorrow. And they're not the only players facing some big challenges.
Most of the international teams are already in Ballarat for the International. For them, it's a great chance to get some high-quality matches in an impressive venue. But for Ballarat's highest-ranked player and one of the top 20 doubles players in the world, Stuart Brehaut, this tournament means a whole lot more.
I've been running for 6 years and I've been runner-up 3 years, so this is definitely the year I have to win it.
But his preparation has been hit hard. He's picked up a bug while playing in Indonesia and hasn't been able to eat properly for the past 4 days. He'll decide after a hit tonight whether he can give the tournament his best.
The energy levels aren't really there, sort of always feeling tired, a bit cold, but hopefully this weekend something's going to change and it doesn't matter even if I lose a leg, I think I'm still going to win this tournament.
Brehaut is in career best form. The 26-year-old is relishing his partnership with Aji Basuki Sindoro. They've had a series of great results and finished inside the world's top 16. They'll be the top-seeded combination at the International. Brehaut wants the event to act as an inspiration to young badminton fans.
It actually is world-class athletes that are playing here this weekend, so they can get a taste of it and hopefully they want to play the sport and continue on to Commonwealth and Olympics.
Jeff Sly, Win News.
Ballarat star apprentice jockey